Hey guys, so today we're going to cover a very common question that I get asked in my practice all the time. When do you ice and when do you heat? Now, different practitioners have different philosophies. This is based on my education, my own personal experience, and the feedback that I get from my patients. Okay, so you have three situations. You have acute, chronic, and somewhere in between where it's like an acute flare-up of a chronic condition. So they all warrant different modalities when it comes to ice or heat. If something is acute and you are running down the street and you trip and fall, sprain your ankle blows up, I would actually recommend an ice bath, especially when it comes to your ankle and your wrist. They comprise of small bones, tiny crevices and grooves, and an ice pack really can't get in there. Obviously, water and ice, it's colder than just an ice pack, but submerging your joint in the water, it's way more efficient. So always in an acute situation like that, where there is massive swelling suddenly, I would always recommend ice. Yes, swelling is necessary for the healing process to take place. You have lots of histamines and antibodies, and you have this huge immune response rushing to the joint, which is necessary. But the problem comes when the inflammation lingers. Because inflammation is acidic in nature, the acidity, if it's present for too long, starts to degrade the tissues. It causes the nerves in the area to fire more often than it should, causing increased pain. The lingering inflammation makes the trauma more problematic when we can't flush that inflammation out. So what the ice does, it creates, the ice bath in particular, it creates almost like a vascular shock to the system. Suddenly squeezing the blood vessels, because that's what happens when you're cold, your blood vessels constrict. The squeezing very quickly shunts the inflammation out, flushing the system, giving space and room for fresh blood, nutrition, oxygen to the area. At the end of the day, your ankle or your wrist or whatever joint just wants space. And sometimes when inflammation is there, it's taking up the space for fresh blood to get in. And that's why you want that vascular shock. You want to really shunt the inflammation out to give room for fresh blood to come in. Chronic situations. When you have a chronic situation, you have layers of scar tissue, fibrous tissue that's obviously been there for a while. All the ice will do in that sense is tighten it even more, right? We want heat in those situations. Heat will soften the muscles. Heat dilates the vessels, so it increases blood to the area. It loosens the joint, it lubricates the joint, it calms your nervous system down. Heat is really, really important for chronic situations. Sometimes we get caught up in like subacute chronic situations. So let's say you have somebody that's had surgery on their knee 1,000,000 times and they go for a run and it's sore, right? Is it an acute situation because it wasn't so before, or is it a chronic situation because it's been going on forever? I would say that's a chronic situation. So in those situations, I put heat. Calm it down, increase circulation, lubricate the joint, relax the nervous system, very, very necessary. But if you have that same chronic knee problem and you go on cycle and really like tweak it and the knee blows up, then I would do something in between where I would do 10 minutes ice, 10 minutes heat. The first, obviously, to make sure to get that inflammation up and out. The second with the heat to get oxygen, fresh blood, nutrition to the area. And because the cold constricts and the heat dilates, it almost creates like a pumping mechanism for your circulation to just really sort of propagate that process as quickly as possible, pump blood in and out to aid in the healing process. So I hope that makes sense. If it's acute, you want to ice. If it's chronic, you want to heat. If it's somewhere in between, you want to do both. A little bit of ice, a little bit of heat, 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off, to just really create a little bit of a pumping mechanism through your system. So I hope that helps. Please drop any comments, subscribe. If you want me to cover any topics, let me know and I will do the things. Thank you.